wife's at an appointment here, so I am coming live here, grabbing some oatmeal, have a little something to eat while we're waiting. So we'll see how this goes today. Hope everybody's doing well. So again, this oatmeal we're having at McDonald's. I haven't had their oatmeal before, but it comes with this deliciousness. Got some raisins. What else we got in here? Let's see. Should be an excitement. Ooh, ooh. What do we got here? And some like probably 10-day old diced apples that are soaked in. Oh, what am I thinking of here? The citrus. Whatever the lemon juice stuff is. Can't think of the name off the top of my head. Did I not? And did I get? I didn't get a Monopoly thing with this. Man. Not that I was going to be using it to make my purchase decisions or anything, but sure would have been nice. Redhead got one. I wonder what she got here. I got a St. Charles Place when she got hers. I wonder what that is. All right. Let's see. Oh, she just had St. Charles Place. That's it. Didn't win anything. So, all right. So, anywho, stuff I was looking at today. A lot of times I come here live just to talk business and stuff too, and that's going to be one of those things today where I'm in the car and just kind of got my little setup here. So I was looking through the news today, and I noticed they had an article about Cracker Barrel, specifically that they think they've done research to prove that all the online outrage that occurred, right? The as I like to call it, the chronically online folks. That outrage about what happened with Cracker Barrel wasn't actually anything necessarily to be concerned about. It was all the online fervor and upset anger that they had. They're actually saying it had to do more with bots driving that than anything else. Now, I don't know how much of that I actually like, where it's bots were the main drivers. I don't think that's necessarily wrong. I don't think it's right either, like the whole picture. I think there's plenty of people who are upset about the Cracker Barrel thing for reasons, right? Like, everyone's got a good memory or two of Cracker Barrel. But I do think there's something to be said with the bots. I think anyone in business right now, and that's really what I'm talking to my clients about, we use that as an example of, you got to be really careful with the stuff that you change with folks, right? But where you've got those bots are, by the way, McDonald's, if you're watching this, your oatmeal's terrible. Like, it's just a pasty, yucky nastiness. But I'm going to eat it because I'm hungry. Anywho, look at that. It's not the best. All right. So when I talk to my clients about, hey, hi there, welcome. When we're talking about Cracker Barrel and all of the online oh, yeah, it's not. It tastes okay, but the texture is just kind of garbagey, though. It's not. It's oatmeal should have a texture to it. This does not. So it has a like paste. Yeah. So hey, good to see you. But so with everything on Cracker Barrel, right? It's a good example for businesses that are there specifically to, how do I want to say this here? They want to update things. They're trying to get things set up for like the next generation of, like, they think what the next generation is, and it's also where they're trying to save some stuff, right? Yeah, trust me, I'm going to get there. So I want to make sure I put this piece here. They basically screwed up, and we all know that. They messed with basically what was the core fundamental thing that they had with their clients, which was the customers that go there. You don't go to Cracker Barrel for new, like, nuance, the top of the line things that you're going to have there. We're going, when you go to Cracker Barrel, as an example, you're going there purely on nostalgia. That's why you go to Cracker Barrel. All of the sights, the smells, the tastes, and everything is meant to be to remind you of memories you had in the past. And if you update the store to make it look nice, not nice, let's say, that's what I want to say too. If you try to update the store, especially on the interior and everything else about it, you've eliminated the nostalgia portion of it, which is why people were upset. Like, that's really what that is. Yeah, the pictures of so Interesting, funny little thing that happened there. We actually, there's a couple of us, we snuck photos into Cracker Barrel. Updated black and white photos of us. We snuck them in and hung them up on the auction on the wall. We removed one of the things and put our pictures up there. And they were up there for as long as I remember. It was pretty funny. But think about your old Cracker. So Cracker Barrel is one of those spots. I worked at Cracker Barrel when I was in Texas. And what's funny is the food that they had there is 100% meant to be, make you feel good. It's home style stuff there. But when you get there, they intentionally find antiques from the local area. That are you're supposed to look at and learn about your history. Again, nostalgia. And that's where they went wrong, 100% on all that thing. It was just so frustrating to watch, like in real time, when like when I work with my business clients, right? We're constantly talking about what is it that we do that's different, what is it that we do that's special, what is it that is our differentiator. And like Cracker Barrel completely they completely misunderstood the assignment. Like that's the thing that just hurt my head beyond, like watching it in real time, they completely whistled right past what made them special. And so, anyways, what we got here today, there was an article I was reading through where they were talking about where the online, everyone being upset, was being driven specifically the by bots, right? Bots were the biggest thing that were driving all of the frustration that were there. And that is a key lesson. That's actually one of the lessons I'm bringing back for my clients, right? Is that, hey, um, let's listen to what everybody's upset about, but let's not go too far down the path here. So, hey, Tim, um, where we think everything, all the online upsettedness and anger is real, because chances are good they're bots. Because the bots are designed, what they do is they are designed to go after negative responses, to get people upset, to get people to engage, right? Because their entire existence is there to drive engagement. Like that's it. And if it ain't broken, don't fix. 100% correct on that. That's exactly what they should have been doing. Now, you can make adjustments around, or like around the edges there too. Like that's an important piece. Then they also understood who their customers were. Part of the training I got with Cracker Barrel when I was there was they, and I worked there for a little while as a server. I had to pay off some bills, and the key focus they had was they were understanding is like they wanted to make sure that that little store area that they have was always clean and well taken care of. It was difficult to maneuver around for reasons, but also the bathrooms were meant to be immaculate at all times. At all times, immaculate. And that was because they understood that they had a lot of people. They were stopping, traveling because they're always on the highway. They had people that are traveling and they want to have they basically have a decent bathroom, and they want to be known for that. And that got people to stop, and then at the same time be able to have food and everything. But I knew Cracker Barrel was running into trouble when they started serving alcohol. As soon as you can get a beer at Cracker Barrel, I went, they are obviously struggling. So, Diddy versus 100 Gorillas. Oh man, that's too funny. Yeah, that's, it's just one of those things. It's like, when they saw you can get a beer there, I was just like, this is just crazy. I was so cranky about that. I was say cranky. I was just disappointed. And, you know, so anyways, so when all of the executives and the CEO, yeah, God, it's been a couple years now they've been serving, is it's not that it's unacceptable, it's just that, you know, I mean I get it, but it's one of those things when I'm looking at from a business standpoint, where their key demographic was and everything, they've never needed alcohol as part of the sales. That's all I'm just getting at. And when they make that move into alcohol, what they're really trying to do is, okay, there's an opportunity to make a little bit more margin, but it was never a place where you had alcohol. That's all. Yeah, like that's really where it's at. Um, just wasn't something there, especially where they were at down on the, where Cracker Barrel really shines at, and where they're big like key demographic was all along the Bible Belt. And it's good to see everybody. Welcome everyone. Was really along the Bible Belt, right? So they had folks that were going there and traveling in and around, and there was a spot they could go. Yeah, and the other thing too is like, so when I was there, and this is obviously a lot of water under the bridge, right? 15, 20 years ago when I worked there, which says something. Everything was made scratch in house. Everything. We had our line cooks who were there, and they had recipes. I would help out every now and again, doing prep and stuff for the next day if it was slow for my shift. So, and now a lot of that isn't the case at all. And they're showing where everything is being mass produced in a commissary, and they're just reheating stuff, which just isn't. I mean, I understand it. Again, we go back to this. What am I actually paying for then? Right? I wanted home style cooking. I wanted a nice clean place. I want a good atmosphere. Uh, I want something made scratch and delicious. Then I show up to a place they're pulling it out of a bag, warming it up in a thing. It's just whatever. So, yeah. Now, yeah, and that was one of the spot where like hash brown casserole. And again, if y'all have had hash brown casserole, you know what I'm talking about. That that was so when I discovered that at Cracker Barrel, I was like, what is this deliciousness of a side? This is so good. And then, brought the family in, they had it like, man, this is all good. And then all of a sudden, it ended up being this sloppy, just slop fest that nobody really wanted. So, anyways, what I want to go back to the botso, and this is the key part of this, really what the takeaway from the video that I've been talking with my clients about is understanding, okay, there's been some people upset. We obviously made a mistake somewhere. But let's not assume the world is on fire, because really at the end of the day, um, yeah, is really at the end of the day, we want to get the information back, but we don't necessarily we don't necessarily need to think that the world's on fire. All right. Now, in the case of Cracker Barrel, they changed everything. Like they completely changed everything, and that's not what folks were looking at for there. So it was famous for, yes, that hash brown casserole. Yeah, it was so good. And then now that hash brown casserole is just a sloppy mess of a thing. It's gross. So yeah, the chicken and dumplings are great too. I ran a marathon in Oklahoma City a while back, and then I went to and basically eating ahead of time. I was like, man, I want some meatloaf and some mashed potatoes. So we went to Cracker Barrel. I remember just chowing down on that. It's like, this is great. Love every bit of this. And now, every time I go back to Cracker Barrel, it's just like this like cheap yuckiness. We don't have it in my area, but I've been to Texas Roadhouse about a bunch, and that's another one I felt like they were saying has fallen off as well too. Is that everybody's experience? Where you guys, and those are the things though. Just understand, and that's the key though. Is one, the outrage wasn't true, right? Wasn't full, but it was important to understand. But two, what were people actually upset about? Like that was the bigger piece that I really wish Cracker Barrel really should have spent some time with. They were just really upset about the fact that you're changing something that we is like going back to grandma's house. Somebody putting their mama food, right? Yep. That was I mean, that was Cracker Barrel. We just went to a place that everyone was like, man, this is food I used to have back on Sundays with the family. Fresh buttermilk biscuits, delicious apple butter. You could get a cup. This is a weird. You could get a cup of buttermilk if you wanted. They had it on the menu. Like, come on. And instead, it was basically a private equity move to streamline everything, turn everything into a Chipotle, basically. Yeah. And so, guys, I'm eating in real time, so I apologize, but that's what I love about these live streams. Optimization, sure. So, with that, there's decisions that are being made across the board. Like Starbucks is kind of going through some stuff right now because they realize they streamlined too much and they need to get back to third spaces. So a lot of the stores that they're closing down, right? They went what the key demographic started wanting more was they need a place to sit in third space to do their work and everything, right? So that's why they're closing a lot of the stores that they do have. They're too narrow. They don't have a place where you can just sit and chill because that's what they want to get back to. But from I'm a part owner in a coffee shop in my local area. It's one of the businesses that I own, and what we have made a stance specifically to ensure that whatever we do, beauty leads our decisions. We want everything to be beautiful first. And then we're going to, whatever that happens to be. And beautiful encompasses, you have the taste, the feel, the look, everything about we're doing. So beauty is just kind of like the baseline. And then from that beauty place that we go, it's called State and Maine. If it's in Scotland, Michigan. I'm from like a little place in Michigan. But if you go to stateandmaine.coffee, so that's stateandmaine.coffee, you'll see the website and you can kind of get some the overview. Quick little look on some of the things. But we work on beauty first, and that drives all of it. And if we're not able to present this stuff in a way that is beautiful, we don't do it. And that's really important for our clientele. They understand when they're coming here, they're getting something different. But that's the customers that we do get. They do travel to see us. They know this is something different in some place amazing, and they're going to feel great. Versus a transaction and making decisions purely from a capital point of view, right? So we don't want that. So, Big B, yeah, we've got a Big B down the oh gosh, I want to say maybe 7 miles from us. Big B, I like the way Big B operates. They especially a lot of they're just their drive-throughs that they have, the small little stuff. They're actually pretty well, so they're real nice. But all right, almost done my food here, guys. But I think it just comes to a greater piece of this too here. So yeah, there's a lot of vape and weed shot. Yeah, and they added a tax on marijuana too in the latest budget because of the um, alcohol sales are down. For there's just the Zoomers don't drink. So to find a way to get some more cash, they're going after that. But here's one of the things. So let's put this out here for everybody, right? So we are in the middle of a time where we're having conversations about why do I even want to spend all of this money to go out to eat right now? Because the food is all the same. It isn't really all that great. Um, I have to tip $1 billion, and I get looked at crazy by the staff. When you go into the places, they're just they all look the same, right? So what really is the value proposition for going out and get food right now, right? Like what really was that? What's the proposition? And that is something that right now so many different businesses are going through. And case in point, it's like McDonald's, right? How much is McDonald's right now to go get some stuff here? I think actually I can answer that question. I got a receipt here. Ryan, they adjusted prices, so that's one thing they did. Lowered prices, yeah, exactly. So we got shrinkflation plus inflation. Yeah. But we were here, we're like, it's the redhead my wife, she's in for a medical appointment right now. It's kind of why we're doing this live over my, you know, here in the car right now. So we got sausage egg McMuffin was $4.89, which isn't, I mean, that's what we didn't need. Like, I brought coffee, like we didn't need anything. We just needed snacks, right? Some food. So it was $4.89 for a sausage egg muffin, which is the best breakfast sandwich with cheese, right? Sausage McMuffin with egg and cheese is the best soft. It isn't like even up for debate. It's just perfect. Close second is going to be the McGriddle, the sausage McGriddle, like close second. All right, and then $3, right? So for us, $8.35. But for that $8.35, we intentionally got something that is cheap. But if we wanted to actually get the meal, we would have been sorry, moving over there. If we wanted to get the meals, we would have been closer to $16, $17 for some eggs and just basically $3 worth of stuff, right? Anyways, so for us, it worked for convenience. That's the way I paid. But anytime else, man, I've been nothing but disappointed whenever I've gone out for food in the last couple years at this point. I've not gone to a place. Yeah, no idea how Burger King's still in business. Same thing. Wendy's has got its own spot. But anyways, I digress. Right now, to go out and go get food, you have to be offering something that people can't get anywhere else, right? And it doesn't mean food necessarily. It's the experience. It's the way people feel when they go into the place. It's all the senses. And the biggest issue we're running into right now, folks, is that the the restaurant industry doesn't think highly enough of you to spend time and energy and effort to produce something of beauty, of goodness. They think we can just provide slop bowls. There's a YouTube video. Go look that up, slop bowls, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We can just dump stuff into the trough, and the hogs will come eat. That's what they think right now, collectively across the board. And our job, again, my job, but also everyone else. We want to find a way to make these restaurant owners and businesses understand that we need more. We expect more if you're going to be charging this much. Because right now the value isn't there. And that's the biggest piece that went down. Like, how in the Cracker Barrel, how in the world are you going to be charging me $1 billion, and then you're going to turn your place into Chipotle and spend $200 million on this Chipotle thing looking crap? And then get upset at us and confused when we're like, what in the world are you doing? Like, we just want to have a place to go chill. So yeah, Cisco. There's a whole another. I watched a video on Cisco too. Cisco, Gordon Foods, and U.S. Yeah, Gordon Foods and U.S. Foods. They are the. That's why everything tastes the same no matter where you go. So, all right, folks. Well, listen, my wife's getting done here. I just wanted to hop on real quick and just share that little bit about the the food that we've been dealing with Cracker Barrel, and the fact that they're trying to blame it on bots now, and that's just not the case. I think we all know better than that. So, anyways, I appreciate everybody swinging by so far. It's good to see you all again. This right here, again, my McDonald's oatmeal. Yeah, I don't recommend very highly. Sausage egg muffin with cheese, though, that one I do get. So, all right, y'all. Take care. I'll see you around next time.